Hey guys, Dark Gray here. I recently promised all of you some new deck profiles and I'm back to deliver. Today we will be going over my Nekroz deck profile for the June 2020 ban list. Now I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a master at playing Nekroz or that this is the most competitive deck profile out here. However, I do believe this will give a great skeleton for anybody who may be interested in the deck and wants to try to have some fun with the newly unlimited Nekroz of Unicorn. If you want to see a super combo heavy and competitive modern day build of Nekroz, I really encourage you to go see Team Samurai X1's recent deck profile for Nekroz, as it can create some crazy boards and card advantage through the Despot and Helkifibrax combos. With that being said, if anyone is interested in seeing a blind going second build for Nekroz I've been working on, then let me know in the comment section below. Nekroz already have crazy effects for going second, like Trish and Brionac for banishing and bouncing opponents' cards, so supplementing them with all the strong going second cards in this format, in addition to setting up floodgates like Nekroz of Unicorn, I think makes for an extremely option in today's meta. I am a fairly new player, having only come into the game in the last 5 years or so after collecting cards and watching the anime as a kid, so I missed out on the formats when Nekroz was at the top of the meta. Despite that, with almost the entire archetype being reprinted in dual power, I went ahead and picked up the core of the deck because the idea of playing an all-ritual archetype was extremely intriguing to me as an old Duel Monsters fan. This recent unbanned list has also brought even more attention to Nekroz and made it the perfect time to pick up the deck, as with any shakeups in future ban lists or the upcoming Dragma archetype means this deck could have very strong future meta potential, so I recommend picking up the deck and learning a little bit about it before all of that hype comes. Now, starting off with the main deck, we have 3 of the one and only newly unlimited Nekroz of Unicorn. Now this is an extremely strong floodgate monster, which is the entire reason why Nekroz was able to hang around as kind of a roguish deck for the past few metas. While Nekroz have yet to make a splash in this current meta, it honestly does so much more for the deck now that it's back at 3. With access to multiple Unicorn, this means we no longer have to play a protect the castle strategy revolving around one single copy of the card. The additional Unicorns also mean we can take advantage of the rank 4 Xyz toolbox and even use the discard effect of Unicorn without wasting our best monster. Next are the 3 Brionac, as this is the searcher for all of the archetypal cards. It also has an amazing on-field effect where you can target up to 2 face-up monsters on your opponent's field that were special summoned from the extra deck and shuffle them back into the deck. Then we have 2 Clausulus, as this enables us to search all of our Nekroz ritual spell cards, but with Brionac already being able to search any of our Nekroz monsters, this means we already play additional copies of Clausulus for whenever we need to search our ritual spell cards. Then we have 2 Trishula, because its amazing banishing effect and the ability to protect our Nekroz monsters from targeting. So as a going first build, we only needed played at 2 for either follow-up plays or for the protection for the deck. Then we play 1 of each Nekroz of Gungnir, Nekroz of Valkyries, and Nekroz of Decisive Armor. These are more personal tech options that stray away from the norm for most Nekroz deck profiles, as most only play 2 Valkyries for the battle protection effect and the ability to tribute off monsters like incantations to enable some more draw power. I like the copies of Gungnir and Decisive Armor, as there are some more Nekroz names and the utility to search any kind of protection effect that we need for any given situation is just very appealing to me. Valkyries is great for battle protection, but Gungnir can be better in certain circumstances, as it will make the monster unable to be destroyed by battle or card effect, so effects like Lightning Storm or Pankratops no longer work against whichever monster we are trying to protect. And also the 1 Decisive Armor, because in testing against some of my own decks, I found that in some situations you just need that little attack buff to get over some problematic monsters or push for that little extra damage. All in all, this just enables a little bit more variety and utility for the deck, so that's why I run 1 of each. Then for monster cards that are not Nekroz ritual monsters, we play 3 Manju of 10,000 Hands. This acts as our normal summon in the deck that enables us to search any ritual spell or monster card from our deck to our hand. And then we play 2 Shurit, Strategist of the Nekroz, as he's really just there to plus off his tribute effects. Then for our incantation package, we play 2 Incantation Candle. We also play 2 Incantation Talismandra. And then we also play our 1 of Incantation Pencil Plume. Now, we play 2 of Candle and Talismandra as they have the best effects to enable us to search from our deck, and 1 Pencil Plume to recur any ritual monster from our graveyard if we need. No Bookstone in this deck profile, since most of the ritual spell cards have graveyard effects anyways that help us recur advantage. Then, lastly for incantations, we play the 3 Incantation Chalice Slime to enable us to search out and summon any of the incantation monsters that we may need in a given circumstance, and we can even discard himself or other copies of himself to enable us to do so. All in all, this just acts as another free search in the deck for anything that we may need. Also, for going first, we play 1 Ben 10 and 1 Vanity's Ruler. This is an amazing engine for going first, as we're able to search out Ben 10, and then by tributing it off, we can search a Vanity's Ruler that we can tribute summon to our side of the field with any incantations that we may have placed there as an extremely strong floodgate, in addition to our Nekroz of Unicorn to stop our opponent from special summoning any monsters. And lastly, we play the 1 Sauravis, the Ancient and Ascended, as it acts as extra protection that we can search out through a myriad of ways. Honestly, this could be any other card that you want to play in the main deck, as our other Nekroz monsters offer plenty of protection for other Nekroz monsters, so this is specifically used as additional protection for non-archetypal cards like Vanity's Ruler or Manju of the 10,000 Hands. In very specific situations, it does have an amazing on-field effect which allows it to bounce itself back to the hand and negate a monster summon, so if you are able to ritual summon it out, say with cards like Incantation Inception, then it offers a strong 1-2 punch with both a summon negation and targeting protection for any of your monsters. For ritual spells, we play 2 Nekroz Kaleidoscope. Now this is a great card for us as it enables us to send any extra deck monster with a level that we want from our extra deck to the graveyard to special summon out a ritual monster from our hand. This effect allows us to gain any additional effects that we may get from any extra deck monsters that are sent to the graveyard, which in itself can help us gain card advantage. Then we play 2 Nekroz Cycle. Cycle is great for recurring Nekroz monsters from the graveyard, especially Bryanek and Colossalis, which we often discard for their search effects. And then we play 2 Nekroz Mirror, as it has the ability to banish Nekroz monsters from the graveyard to make summoning out our Nekroz ritual monsters that much easier. But I've also found it to be the most niche ritual spell that we run, so it can easily be cut down to 1, which I've seen in many different lists. Then lastly for ritual spells, we play the 1 Incantation Inception, as it enables us to easily summon out ritual monsters by tributing off incantations that we have on the field, and also looping with Chalice Slime to gain some additional card advantage. To round out the last of our spell cards in the deck, we play 3 Preparation of Rites and 1 Reinforcement of the Army. Now, Preparation of Rites essentially acts as a rota for all of our ritual monsters that are level 7 or lower, and considering if you have any ritual spells in the graveyard, it also makes it a +1. And with actual Rota being able to search any of our warrior type monsters, we do play a few. We can also have additional ways to search any monsters that we may need. Onto the extra deck, we play 2 Herald of the Arclight, as this is a target for our Nekroz Kaleidoscope to summon out Nekroz of Unicorn, and when Herald of Arclight is sent to the graveyard, we are able to search a ritual spell or monster from our deck to our hand. And then we also play 2 Elderly Entity in Tis as another target for Nekroz of Unicorn with our Kaleidoscope, as it enables us to pop a card on the field when it is sent to the graveyard. For other Kaleidoscope targets, we also have the 1 Bryanek, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, as a target for our regular Ritual Bryanek or for 2 Colossalis in certain situations. We also play one Psyframe Lord Omega, as this enables us to summon out 2 Nekroz of Unicorn at the same time. It also has a very useful graveyard effect where it can target itself and one other card in the graveyard and shuffle both of them back into the deck. So it's an easy way for us to recycle any monsters that we may need. We also have one Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, as this allows us to summon off things like a Brionac and Clausulus at the same time with Kaleidoscope. Then we also play one Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon, as this enables us to summon out monsters like our Brionac and Unicorn at the same time and doubles as helpful removal in any Cyber Dragon matchup. Then we have our one Star Eater, which allows us to summon out things like Valkyrus and Clausulus at the same time. And finally, the one 5-headed dragon as a little OG representation to get out things like Trishula and Clausulus at the same time. Onto the rest of the extra deck, we have some rank 4 Xyz monsters with Abyss Dweller to turn off graveyard effects, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, which enables us to clear the board when necessary, one Daigusto Emerald, which allows us to shuffle back any necessary monsters that we may want from the graveyard back into the deck and allow us to draw one. And then we also have one Tornado Dragon, which will allow us to pop any problematic spell or trap cards on the field. Now, in the past, I've been very hesitant to use any of the rank 4 toolbox because I often felt like I had to use my strongest card in order to use them, but again, with Nekroz of Unicorn being unlimited in the most recent ban list, this helps the deck a ton, not just in its ability to access Unicorn, but also the ability to access the utility like these rank 4 Xyz when needed. Now, lastly, in the extra deck, this is what I like to consider the honorary boss monster of the deck, and that is one Nephthys the Sacred Flame. This card is like a BLS Link version for ritual monsters, and if you're able to get it onto the board, it's absolutely insane. Now, its effect is based off the number of ritual monsters used for its summon. This card states it takes 2+ monsters, including a ritual monster. Also, while it is in the extra monster zone, monsters your opponent controls cannot target Nephthys monsters in the main monster zones for attacks, and this card also gains effects based on the number of ritual monsters used for its link summon. So, when you use 1 or more ritual monsters, it cannot be destroyed by battle. When you use 2 or more ritual monsters, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it also gains 1200 attack. And when you use 3 ritual monsters, neither player can target this card with card effects, and it also gains another 1200 attack. So if you are able to use 3 ritual monsters to get him out, it becomes unable to be destroyed by both battle and card effect. It also cannot be targeted by card effects, and it goes up to an insane 4800 attack points. Again, with multiple ways to access Unicorn now, you can summon this out and even back it up with other monsters like another Unicorn, Vanity's Ruler, Clausulus, etc. is an absolute game winner if you're able to get it on the board and it sticks. And so using up those resources when necessary in certain situations can really be worthwhile. For the side deck, we play 3 Wing Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. Now, this deck does not need to utilize its normal summon, so this is an amazing option to clear big combo boards, and with a follow-up of Nekroz of Trishula, it also allows us to clear the Raw Sphere Mode, which not many decks are able to do when they do choose to Sphere Mode their opponent's board. This could also easily be replaced with Lava Golem if you feel that it will become more live in this format, since there are less big boards and more decks like Eldritch and others abusing Jet Synchron to end only with a Borreload Savage Dragon and a Herald of the Arclight with more support in the back row to help protect them. Then we have 3 Dark Ruler No More, again for going second against big combo heavy decks. And another reminder that all the Nekroz monsters have amazing effects that will allow us to pick apart our opponent's board and establish floodgates like Vanity's Ruler or Nekroz of Unicorn to lock out our opponent for the remainder of the game. And 1 Mind Control, as it's a generically good card against big monster boards that we can use to either bait negates or steal monsters, etc. For back row decks, we can put in cards like Denko Sekka as an option instead of Sphere Mode for those matchups, as it will allow us to use our normal summon to turn off their entire back row. This could also easily be replaced with cards like Evenly Matched if you happen to have them on hand, but this in itself is just an extremely strong card that can turn off entire back row reliant decks. We also play 3 Cosmic Cyclone for those back row matchups and specifically Mystic Mind decks to out their boards. And then the 1 red reboot, which sadly is still limited, but will allow us to turn off any of those trap heavy decks like Eldritch and the also recently unlimited Altergeist decks, which will be floating around in the current meta. For the last spot in the side deck, we play 1 Pankratops, which also is limited, but it's great for its general utility and ability to be great in any matchup, whether it's a combo heavy deck or a back row oriented deck. With that, you'll see that we have 7 cards for our combo matchups, 7 cards for our back row matchups, and the one of Pankratops as a flex spot to fill in where needed. So I feel that this is a really good base for a side deck currently for this deck specifically that allows us to match up well going into game 2 and 3 and do whatever we feel necessary. Thanks again everyone for watching. I hope you found this useful and take some time to try out Nekroz for yourselves. I always love to see decks that revolve around specific mechanics, especially old ones like Ritual Monsters. It's always great nostalgia for us old fans. Also, let me know your thoughts and what you would change in the comment section down below. Are you running Nekroz currently? If so, what variant? Also, let me know your thoughts on the viability in upcoming metas, and especially with new releases like Dragma coming. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for more deck profiles coming very shortly. Stay safe and peace out everyone.